Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be leaking a VOD review that I did for a subscriber a while back. Guys, this student went from Gold 3 to Plat 2 within just 2 days after one singular coaching session. And guys, this is just one example of many of the students that I've coached. If you guys want to see examples like this in your own gameplay and you want to rank up extremely fast so you don't have to waste thousands of hours reaching a high rank like I did, go ahead and click my links below. Anyways, let's jump right into the video. Based off of, your stats, considering that your headshot's pretty high, I'm going to be assuming that it's probably not going to be the issue. But we'll see. And your mechanics probably not going to be the issue. So let's see how you died here. Okay, so you got one, and then you immediately got traded. Now, I want to go back here and look at the mini-map. And, okay, you are not within range of your TP, right? So you couldn't TP out. But, honestly, the reason why you died here is because you should have just gave it up, right? You got one, and then you got kind of overconfident, I would say, right? The best thing you can do in the game of Valorant is no matter how good you are, once the opponent knows that you're at a certain angle, you should always give it up. So for example, you got one, the enemy team has info that you were there, right? Now, whether or not they had some one guy peeking from up here, right? Whether or not they do that, they could have everyone peek together, right? If they're a well-coordinated team. The best thing you could have done here is you get one and then you dip. Like, okay, if I was in your position here, I get one, I knife out, and I run behind this pillar. Right, the pillar to my right, I'm just out of there, and then I'm just gonna bait this Omen and just play off of him and win us the round. Because let's be honest, right, the Omen has a classic, you have the better gun, so it's better for you to stay alive in this situation. It's not a bad play at all. Let's see, crosshair placement's nice. Yeah, your crosshair placement's definitely nice. Okay, you got, I don't know where the sage was looking, but nice pick. All right, let's see what's going on. So it looks like your team is now committing to A site, right? They're starting to work the map. You want to be always looking at your minimap. I have no idea why that clove is running B when your team just got one on A, but it's okay. We'll just let that happen. I guess they're really worried about your lurk here. Okay, so then he peeks. Let's see. How could you have avoided dying here? Well, I guess the one thing is it just kind of goes back to the law that I mentioned earlier, right? The law is simple. If your enemy knows your position, you want to always try to switch it up, right? Even if you know you're the better aimer, even if you know you're the better, whatever the case is, the higher in rank you go, the more likely they're going to start mixing things up. For example, the reason you died here is because he saw you, right? You saw him jiggle and then you were holding, right? What I would do in this situation is you should have maybe held for like another second or 2 seconds and then immediately understood that he's not peeking right now. And then you can start scaling somewhere else. You can start walking this way. You can try to get behind cover. You can try to get behind this box here. You just want to limit the number of angles essentially that are, targeted towards you. So what happened was you're holding this angle, but you're just holding it. You're just continuously holding it, and you're just so sure that he's going to peek here. But guess what he does? He goes up top. So, like, he peeks it. Okay, you're like, okay, let me hold. At this point, like, literally right now, you should have been like, okay, he's not peeking, so I'm going to start going back this way. Right? I'm going to start going back this way. But you're just holding, and then boom, he's up top, right? And it's fine. It's a little bit of, like, a higher elo thing. And I get it because you obviously have better aim than most likely majority of players in your elo, so you feel like the confidence to take those fights. But again, just try to remember that law. It'll help you out a lot because again, if you have the confidence with your aim, then all you need is better positioning, right? If you position yourself better for gunfights, then you're just going to get multi-frags after multi-frag. Okay, let me see this. So I guess the first thing that I want to point out here is that this TP is a little bit pointless in my opinion if you're going with your team. So if you're going solo, right, if it's just you and you're scaling here, the TP is pointless. I mean, the TP is going to be useful, right, if it's just you. But if it's your teammates and they're scaling with you, you have a Reyna blind to go out with, you have so much utility, right? You have the Reyna blind and then you guys can all three peek together. It's just better to save the TP for sight in my opinion, because think about it like this. So let's say you guys got this kill, right? And now your teammates are going in, right? Instead of playing back here, you could be in with them. right? You could have even been the first point of contact and then TP'd out, and then they could have won in, and you probably would have had one extra player alive if you did that. But let's see. Okay, so it looks like your Reyna's helping you out back call, so you guys have back call control. Okay, looks like the Silva's going to be darting. Nice start. He's going to plant safe. Okay, good. I like this positioning from you. Look at this. Okay, I like this. I like how you're starting to get aggressive because you notice that your teammates are not only all on site, but your Reyna's starting to take space, right? And if your Reyna's taking space, then that means you guys need to start taking space too and control of the site. So I like your thinking here to, you know, take control of the site. This is good. Okay, you see one. Yeah, see, the thing is, you have good aim, right? And you have good crosshair placement, but it's just, I think the main flaw that I'm noticing is you kind of ego peaking, right? And the problem here is, let me show you again. It goes back to the law that I mentioned earlier, right? You know he saw you, right? You know he saw you. He's shooting at you here, right? You're full ADS'd. And, you know, I have nothing against people who ADS. ADS is completely fine if you can hit your shots. It's fine. I will say, though, typically in a gunfight where it's, you know, not that far away, right? This is like, would be considered like a medium range gunfight, essentially. You kind of want to just use your crosshair, I guess. But even then, notice how, you know, you didn't tuck or anything. You didn't leave. You didn't switch up your position. You just kind of full swing him, right? Because you had the confidence. And it's good to have confidence, but in my opinion, it would have been better if you just tucked. Here. Because if you think about it, you could be saving your own life and you would be baiting for the Reyna as well. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be considered a bait because you full fought it, right? Another technique that you could have done here, and I'll show you in a custom game. Let me just quickly go into one. So I'm going to show you a little mechanic here that you could try to use, and hopefully it'll benefit you. So like, for example, right? You saw this player, you know they saw you, right? You had a lot of options. I would say the best option is to just tuck, right? Like, okay, he saw you already. He knows you're here, right? You can just tuck, right? And maybe try to switch up your position. You could tuck, you could shift walk here, because again, this would be a pretty good position to be in. I would say doing this play would be the smartest play, because one thing is that your Reyna is back here, right? You already baited for the Reyna because the Clove apparently is unaware that the Reyna is there, right? And they saw you, so they're going to be more focused on you. You're the last person that they saw, so that's where their thought process is going to be, right? And now you, instead of just full-on swinging and fighting this, you're taking a timing, you're switching up your positioning, and you could be holding down here, right? And now comes the mechanic that I'm going to show you that's really good, and you've probably heard about it already, and it's called jiggle peeking, right? So for example, if you saw this guy, you could shoot some bullets and you can jiggle back in, and you could jiggle out, shoot some bullets, shoot some bullets, shoot some bullets, and just kind of do this for like 2 seconds, right? It's just helping bait more time for Reyna. You see what I'm saying? So if you know that your Reyna is scaled up here and he's going to be flanking the person up top, the best thing that you can do is prioritize your life, but also find a way to bait time for him to flank, right? So I would say the best way to do that is once you see him, tuck in and then shoot some shots to this box, shoot, 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 and then just tuck in and then switch up your position, because you just always want to be switching your position, right? So that's just something I wanted to point out there. But other than that, let's keep going. It looks like you guys lost that round. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Okay, let's see what you do this round. 2-1. Okay. Okay, nice shot. Okay, nice shot. Interesting. So, okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is interesting. So you have really good crosshair placement, but it seems like you have you're missing a mechanic that you need to learn. And it's a fundamental mechanic that it seems like you're missing here, and I'm going to show you here in a sec. This should change the entire way you play the game. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Let me show you. Okay, so I just noticed that you seem to be the type of player that, you know, you have really good crosshair placement, but I think you focus too much on just your crosshair placement and not your movement. So let me show you why movement is really important in this game, okay? So this is how you peaked. I'm going to show you how you peaked all these angles, and then I'm going to show you how a higher elo player would peak all these angles. So for example, you shift peaked here, right? You did get the kill, and then you went here, and you kind of just shifted like this. So this is bad. So this is very important. I need you to understand this, is that this is really bad. Really, really bad. It might work in the elo that you are playing in, right? Maybe, you know, they're not able to shoot you in time, etc. But if you really want to rank up fast and you really want to start, you know, climbing the ranks, you need to learn how to essentially use your A and D keys without holding shift. Okay, because shifting an angle, essentially what shifting an angle does is it makes it easier for this person to get you. Like, yes, he ended up missing, which is surprising, but again, that's kind of what happens in lower elo. But if you really want to get out, you want to learn how to clear like this. You see this? I'm using my A and D keys to peek, and I'm not making any noise, by the way, because there is a little bit of time that you can step without making noise. So for example, I'm going to put my volume up here so we can both hear. Watch this. I just took one step to the right, didn't make any noise. One step to the right, made no noise. One step to the right, made no noise. Now watch what happens when I take 2 steps. I make a step. So that means until I take that second step, I can move. Look how much I can move without making noise. I'm gonna mark it. This is the marker. Okay. Boom. This is how far you can move without making a single step, right? So, and then once the step comes in, it's all the way here. So technically, you could move from here to like here-ish without making noise, right? And this is the right way to peek in Valorant. If you want to be able to peek well, because with your crosshair placement, this is going to skyrocket you really fast in the ranks, I'm telling you right now. If you can learn how to peek properly, you'll suddenly start winning every single engagement and even multi-fragging. Again, watch. You peeked it like this, right? This is how you clear these angles, how you want to clear them. Boom, 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 boom. So notice the difference, right? You're shift peeking. Essentially what you're doing is you have really good crosshair placement. You're lining this up perfectly, then you're lining this up perfectly. But what's happening is you're exposing yourself to so many angles very slowly at that. So it's not even like, okay, let me show you the example. A lot of Plat Diamond players, this is how they peek angles. They peek like this, then they peek like this, they peek like this, and then they peek like this, and they peek like this, right? This is still way better than how you're peeking angles, which is you're shifting. When you're shifting really slowly, it just makes it 100 times easier for the opponent to just one-tap you, right? Versus if you peek with your A and D keys, peek like this, 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 peek like this. So I think the best thing you can do is trying to just go into a custom and just work on peeking with your A and D keys and not making noise, right? That's the first step. The second step, which is when you kind of get more advanced and you get into the higher elo, is where you start to really master the jiggle peeks that I was talking about, because jiggle peeking is key. When I peek in my games, right, I'm not peeking like this because I'm going to get one tapped if I do that. In higher elo, everyone's just perfect crosshair placement, aim demon, right? So what I do is I'm jiggle peeking. I jiggle peek the first angle, I crosshair placement perfectly for the second, jiggle peek that, jiggle peek the third angle, jiggle peek these off angles as well, and then I can jiggle peek the next angle, jiggle peek this, crouch peek this, and then start walking forward. So again, it's very methodical, but it's very fast. Now, no one's expecting you to be at that level yet, so I would say that you should focus on kind of just using your A and D keys. Just kind of do this, right? Peek this, peek this, peek this, peek this, peek this, peek this. It's much better to get in the habit of doing that instead of shift peeking, and you'll definitely notice an improvement if you do that. Okay, next round. Looks like you guys are on B. Your teammate gets a kill. All right, and let's see what's going on. What is going on here? What is going on here, man? What is going on here? All right. Sending out the drone. Okay. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Let me see. One's back call as well. Okay. Alright. So it looks like you're just going to be holding and waiting. This is good. This is fine. Just holding and waiting. Alright. 3v3. Okay. I like the repositioning here. I don't know if you did it intentionally, but I like how you isolated this angle, right? You're no longer exposed to the rest of the angle, so this is good. This is good. Okay, you're just holding it. You ping that you're holding it. The Reyna dips. Okay, so you switch it up. I like this. This is good. This is good. Good crosshair placement. Now it's a little bit off, but it's okay. can be readjusted. Okay, it looks like your Sage gets one 2v2. So what's happening now? Okay, so you're just holding back call because you know the Reyna's there, and the Sage walks out. Alright, so okay, so I guess the problem with this, it kind of just goes back to the law that I said again, right? If an enemy knows where you are, you want to switch up your position drastically, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, in every situation that you have to, but it's a good law to follow. Because, like, for example, let me show you an example, right? The Reyna might have seen you when they crossed, right? The Reyna might have seen you when they crossed. And also, you've kind of played this angle like the past couple rounds too, right? So it's essentially predictable, right? You want to always be switching it up. The second thing I would say is when you're in a 2v2, and again, this is not entirely your fault. It's also the Sage's fault because the Sage just decided to solo push, right? The best play would have been for you guys to group up, right? For you guys to group up and either wait the smoke out or have a good 3-2-1 swing out the smoke. 3-2-1 swing out the smoke. But this play of like, okay, you know, I'm just going to hold your back call and you're going to be the only one pushing it to site, it's way too risky, right? And it didn't work out because it turned out he wasn't back call. He took the smoke and he found a timing to get back here, right? So you have to also keep in mind that enemy positions can also change, right? And yours should also change accordingly as well. Okay. So you know that chamber is mid, right? And you don't know where the Reyna is because we haven't seen the Reyna yet. So let's see. Okay, you're going to be holding this angle. Holding. Shifting. No, don't shift. Don't shift. Don't shift. Shifting makes you such an easy target. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of things here, right? Because I want you to think about it like this, okay? I want you to think about this. It's not even the fact that you're shifting, but it's the fact that you're not really clearing anything. Because, like, notice how when you're shifting out here, first off, you gave them a lot of time, okay? If you give them this much time, they could have someone scale up into arts. You see what I'm saying? And so you need to be worried about, hey, is there somebody in this area, right? But you're not worried about that. You're just full shifting, full confidence that they're not here, right? You'd even clear behind this box. You'd even clear, like even not just behind the box, but you didn't clear anything, right? You just kind of shift peeked into it. But here, I'll show you the difference. The best way to clear is to actually use your A and D key. So this, again, this goes back to movement, right? If you can work on this, I'm telling you, you're just going to become insane. Because you already have really good crosshair placement for your rank, really good movement, really good aim. So, again, instead of clearing like this, you want to be like, okay, let me clear this off angle, clear this, okay, clear this, okay. Now you can maybe shift peek some of these off angles, but then you also want to kind of like, you know, clear this area, clear this, and then also clear behind this, right? There's so many angles to clear, but in reality, you didn't clear any of them, right? So, all right, let's go back. Let's see. Okay, so you're shifting. You spot the chamber, okay? You're gonna be aiming down. Okay, it's fine. Some bullets. Now, I will say you're full running at him, but you still don't know where the Reyna is yet. So again, you're kind of full focusing on someone when there's still other people alive, right? Because for all we know, you know, first off, you still haven't cleared behind this box, right? There could be someone behind this box still. You also didn't clear close right to this bomb, right? So like, for example, you're aiming down at the chamber, but then look how you peek out. Look where your crosshair is. You revealed yourself to close right, but your crosshair is nowhere near close right. So what does that mean? That means if the Reyna was here, instantly dead, right? And now you're chasing after this chamber, but you're not properly clearing, right? Okay. You're going to be aiming down, going for the shots. Oh. You just get knifed? From where? Hold on. Let me see the minimap. Hold on. Wait, was he actually behind the box the whole time? He might have been. I think he was behind the box. I think he just shift walked up to you while you were taking this fight. Yeah, he's to your left. I think he scaled from here. Oh my goodness. I think he was behind the box. Either he was behind the box or he had like some late flank. I have no idea. But dang, that is tough. That is tough. That is tough. Oh no, are you about to rage? It's okay. It's okay. After this, you won't rage. You know what to do now. You know what to do now. It's okay. Okay, so it looks like they jump spotted you. You got your one and you got out. Huge. Good, good, good. Ooh, re-peeking though. I don't know, man. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if you can get another one. This is better. This is repositioning now. Not re-peeking, but repositioning. So this is good. But earlier, if the Omen never smoked and you peeked it, would have been kind of risky. Ooh, nice. Okay, this is much better. See, this play right here is much better than what you were initially trying to do, right? Because essentially what you did here is you kind of switched it up, right? You went from like, okay, you know, I'm gonna re-peek and hold this into, okay, it smokes, I'm gonna completely reposition myself and then peek up here off of a timing. This was a really good play in my opinion, and I think that was good. That was really good.